The 90s did a pretty solid job at creating a few horror icons, even if most didn't have the longevity of their 80s golden age counterparts. But hey, listen, I always have a soft spot for the underdogs. And one I'd like to dig into today may lean more into the B-movie side, but delivers in its core goal. Create a new and engaging horror villain while putting the focus on the kills. Directed by one of the founders of the renowned special effects companies KNB, written by the man of Hellraiser II and III, and cameoing just about everyone in horror. I'm not shitting you. So let's dig into the late 90s, an evil Djinn and its defining scene. Today, we talk Wishmaster. I'm Lance Vlcek, and this is Scene Breakdown. Like always, we'll kind of break this into a few parts. We'll give an overall review of the movie, some iconic and worthwhile scenes, and of course the scene I believe defines the movie as a whole. At its heart, Wishmaster is a movie made with friends to show off some fun and inventive kills. In the end, it is as the great Robert Palmer once said, this is a fine time. This is a fine time. And one that puts a smile on your face. More schlock than was intended, Wishmaster is my 90s go-to for a well-executed B-movie monster flick.
Hey, should only get cancer. Enjoy it.
The story is simple. We open in ancient Persia where a powerful Djinn, played by the great Andrew Divoff, is wreaking havoc only to be thwarted and trapped into a fire opal. Flash forward to the late 90s and a drunken Joseph Pilato causes an accident that releases the opal, and enter Alexandra, a gemologist who examines the stone and accidentally awakens the Djinn. And what we get is 90-ish minutes of twisted wish fulfillment and some good old-fashioned schlock.
Going my way.
Wishmaster at its heart is a movie that feels like a bunch of effects artist friends got around and pitched each other fun, wish-centric deaths, and using their connections over the years, got every legend, or close to it, to participate in some way. Peter Atkins' story is, decent enough. And in terms of the Djinn stuff, it's definitely him at his best. And as an origin story for a new horror lead, everything here really depends on Andrew Divoff.
Apologize. Divoff.
And to no one's surprise, he nails it. Divoff puts together a villain that feels like a healthy mix of Freddy and Pinhead. The Djinn grants pleasures that turn into torturous nightmares, while also toying with his victims. He has a cruel sense of irony in the way he grants these. Now, that's not to say Divoff is copying and pasting from the two, no. He has a distinct sense of self. He moves with a slow, predatory grace. With his human form, Nathaniel Demarest, we get a sort of uncanny valley feeling. Nathaniel's suave, but also like something, trying to pass off as human, but not quite there. Something as simple as having the Djinn never blink adds to that uneasy feel, even when the scene itself is a bit campy.
What are you gonna do? Kill me? Where's your third wish then?
And of course, the voice.
Something which feeds on wishes.
Side tangent, if you haven't checked out Charles Band's podcast, Full Moon Freak Show, I'd recommend it. Entertaining and filled with a great back and forth.
What is the voice? Is it a Shakespearean? Is it a British accented thing? Or more than anything, I realized the voice, the sound had to be coming out of the earth. It had to be gurgly. Sure. It had to be organic.
Divoff himself speaks 8 languages, and it's that mastery of the spoken word that lends itself to creating such an iconic sound. As the Djinn, he drops his voice into a low, guttural register that makes the creature sound so ancient. It's not over the top, no, it's commanding, slow, and methodical. While Nathaniel is more human, at least the face he's wearing, the voice here, it's still odd and unnerving. There's something off. Plus, director Robert Kurtzman wanted him to have striking blue eyes, which makes Nathaniel both alluring and also like the kind of man who'd keep your organs in a fridge.
Where is Alexandra?
What else do you have to do?
Wishmaster puts its love in what is most important, kills and the Djinn. Tammy Lauren is fine, but she's directed in a slightly cheesy way that feels like more of an imbalance.
You bastard!
While Wishmaster seems to try and play both sides, it results in good moments, some that should have been great. But, as stated, what works is what I'm mostly here for. A cool villain, fun deaths, and some great cameos. We got Robert Englund, Reggie Bannister, Kane Hodder, Tony Todd, Ted Raimi, Joseph Pilato, Angus Scrimm in a voiceover, George Buck Flower, not horror, but gotta mention the legend, even Eddie from Die Hard. The practical effects and creature design stick the landing, giving us some fun and unique deaths, especially the practical ones. The CGI, we'll get to that. Of course, brought to life by genre legend Robert Kurtzman and his KNB team. But, as stated, this story it's pretty standard. Some of the acting outside of Divoff feels stiff, and the CGI moments are very 90s. Some charming in a frightener's way, while some haven't aged well. But there is something here that has us talking about it 28 plus years later. Listen, Wishmaster is endearing, and some key scenes prove my point. Mr. J. Voorhees is breaking glass. Now yes, this might be on the más o menos list by some, because of its 90s computer graphics, but as any old CGI, I'm a man who can forgive anything if style is the focus. Kane Hodder is a security guard keeping the Djinn, in the form of Nathaniel Demarest, from getting in to see Nick at the auction house, using the wrong wording to the wrong person.
Well, now you'd have to go through me.
The Djinn turns Kane's character into the glass door, and of course, goes through him. It's cheesy and all around great. I will hear nothing of it. Then the police station massacre is another classic. A criminal that can't catch charges has pissed off Lieutenant Nathanson enough and wishes he could catch the man red-handed, leading to a gory, over-the-top set piece with some good old-fashioned blood squibs. I can't show you a lot, especially on YouTube, but it's great. As most things here, it's a bit silly, yes, but that's why it's great and why Wishmaster has persevered. But for me, what seals everything, effects, tone, and style, what defines this movie is the opening scene.
Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the Store tab on any of our JoBlo channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
Fear the Djinn.
We get Angus Scrimm setting up the universe and the rules of the Djinn, and of course the current setting, Persia 1127 AD. What works here is not a casual build-up or even a discovery of f***ery. No, a second wish has just been granted and all hell is broken loose. Kurtzman knows he needs to sell the power and ironic fate of those who are granted wishes, plus the cool effects he has planned, so we get a wham bam thank you ma'am opening. The Emperor's Palace is a horror show. People melding into stone walls, gross mutations. Some poor soul becomes a human snake. A man's skeleton rips itself out of its own body and goes on attacking the nearest person. That's great. All set to an epic and rousing score by the great Harry Manfredini. Kurtzman keeps everything snappy with us following the sorcerer, who's constantly on the move. It's utter chaos and we don't dwell on anything for too long, giving us a sense of panic, of anxiety, all leading to us meeting the Djinn and his near persuasive charm talking splendors to the Emperor. It's just over the top enough to let us, the audience, know we're gonna have a good time. Now, this scene is mirrored in the very end with Raymond's party, but I don't know, that doesn't quite hit the same way as this. Where Mr. England's party, I feel, doesn't nearly go as far into the effects and the cool designs and the ironic mutations. This opening scene just hits better. The mayhem here is the element that ties the room together. It's a fantastic way to set the stage, show the power of the Djinn and the KNB Effects, all ending up with us experiencing Andrew Divoff's awesome performance. Wishmaster is a series that dies out quicker than it should. Andrew only donned the Djinn design for 2 out of the 4 films, but that and its schlockier sequel are worth your time, with this entry being the standout. And listen, if you need any more proof, I give you this.
Tell them there is something loose in their city. Something which feeds on wishes. quickly, while you still have a soul.
Fuck you!
Sayonara.
Seems like the world is moving on. Didn't stop to look around. Didn't give a shit if you're crashing down. You can close your eyes but not your skin. Don't believe what you refuse to see.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.